Welcome YouTube friends, this is Cheryl with Bluegrass Dreams to Seams. How is your evening going? Mine's going pretty good. I've had a busy day. Church, out to lunch, grandson came over and he's 4 years old. So he has his little remote car and he's entertaining us all, plus the cat Lucy. She started chasing that thing around the house and he thought that was really funny. Have him here, he'll be back on Tuesday. His mother's studying for her nurse practitioner big exam, and so she has to have him out of the house so she can do her study time, and she's just about ready to go take the test. So had a busy day. Was hoping I was going to be subbing more this week, but we have this pandemic thing going on and they've closed the schools down, put students on computer classroom. And so the only days, if they go back, I'll be subbing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm like, I have to get this filmed and I have to go with it. So I'm going to film this. We're going to get this done. And I got to go to Textile Fabrics. So at the end of the video, you will see pictures from Textile Fabrics. That's how I'm wrapping this one up this week. What I'm wearing now is that little blue knit top that I wanted to make. Usually I have things stacked in order and I did not do that. But it's this little pattern right here. It's the second time I've made it. This one on my new machine and I'm still learning. But I tell you one thing I did find out from a video. What would we do without videos? I knew that I could go into this one thing. It was supposed to bring up all the different fabric types. I knew what kind of fabric I was working with. I pick it, and I think, I don't know where to go to next. There was another window that I'm supposed to open. You have to hit the eye on it. It would open that, and then I could select the stitch, and then exit out, and it would have on there the foot I needed to use, the stitch that would already be preset, the type of or the needle I need to be using. Just gives you information out, you know. So about halfway through this, I finally figured out how to do all that because I watched that video. See, these videos are very helpful, and that's why I like doing them, because we all have learned different things and we can learn from each other. I've been sewing over 50 years and I have learned from the younger to people my age, and I love watching them all because you can learn so much out there. So this little make, yes, it does look like it's off center, but there is a seam that goes down right here. So that is supposed to look that way. It is asymmetrical. Really the only change I made on this tunic was this right here. These sleeves, for some weird reason, they want that sleeve to hang down to about right here. And I don't like it. So what ends up happening is I have my fabric laying right sides together, and I measure in about 1 inch, which is going to be 2 inches out. You'll cut out 2 inches of the whole circle, and I go from the elbow down to that 1 inch mark, and then I serge all that off, and I end up with a more comfortable wrist length, or circumference. This is more comfortable. If I'm knitting and it's hanging up, like it'll get hung up in here, my needles, especially if they're very long. Double points when I'm doing socks are about this long, and it will catch in there, and if it catches, I could end up having stitches fly off. That's not a good thing when stitches fly off because they're live. You want everything to stay on your needles. So I can just simply pull them up just a little bit, and that solves that issue. When they're really baggy, like, you know, down to here, I have to pull it up to here, and then what I find is it stretches the fabric way too much. I made a dress using these two fabrics. It's a fish print as well as the woodsy print. This is a rayon batik, and I found this on the remnant table at Hancock's of Paducah. The dress was a Marcy Tilton pattern. This is her sister's pattern, which is this one, a Butterick pattern. And I did the blocking or play with pattern, 2 different patterns of fabric. And I still have enough to make one more thing. Most likely enough to do a tank top. Question is, will I do it? I don't know. We'll see. I might and I might not. But the collar is not interfaced, and it's fine that way. It's supposed to be soft and kind of flowy around. I assume if you did interface it, it would probably stand up more and be firm, which would be fine, that look too. One thing I would interface that did not call for it, and it kind of shocked me, was the cuff lining, which is on the inside. This is actually the whole sleeve right there. The whole sleeve is like this. And you line, so the cuffs are kind of built into the sleeve, and they just fold back. This sleeve actually looks a little better, so I'll show it. It wants to stay up on this side, but not on the other side. I think I'm going to take the cuff lining off, and I'm going to interface it. Probably not all the way off, but enough that I can get the interfacing and press it, and then stitch it back in place, and hopefully it'll stay up on its own. The button band is interfaced, and it's lovely. I used a little bit larger button, so I respaced my buttons. Main reason I wanted to do that was these buttons had been on a previous make, a shirt, and I salvaged them because after I was finished wearing the shirt for 2 or 3 years, it didn't look very good anymore. And I thought, but I don't want to give up these buttons. They were kind of expensive. So I took them off, and I've got them now on this shirt. But also, this seam right here that joins like kind of like the skirt part of the shirt to the bodice of the shirt, I was afraid it might gap some there because the button should have been up here. So I spaced them a little bit more further apart so I could get that a little closer to that seam to avoid that issue. You do what you gotta do. And there's also this nice little feature, these pleats on this skirt part. I like that in the back. However, I probably could have cut this by a size smaller, just like I could have cut this one a size smaller. They just seem like they're bigger on me, and I'm hoping that's a positive thing, meaning also, and I cannot remember if I showed you this or not. I know I wanted to, and I might have clipped it out. This little top here, I did the little tiny sleeves, but a longer view. So I didn't do these sleeves. So you got 3 sleeve choices and 2 lengths. There are pleats or gathers in the back. This too, I could have cut a size smaller. Go figure. But anyway, it's this neat little artsy man print. You know, the little man you buy, it's little wood, and you put his arms and legs and all different kinds of shapes. You sit there and you draw the thing in art class. I had to buy one for my youngest daughter once when she said, "Oh, can you get this?" And then the next thing I knew, it was broken. I wasn't very happy. I think she thought I would just go buy her another one, and I said, no. So, you know, when you got to raise 3, it's kind of expensive. But there's little pleats in the back here, so it adds a little fullness. I did a self-fabric bias tape to finish the neck edges, and I wanted to finish the sleeve, where the sleeve joins the body of the shirt. I did that also in the same binding. Everything else was either finished on a serger or French seams. Let me see. I French seamed this one on the sides. So the yoke is where I attached the back yoke. Oh, yeah. I French seamed that as well. So I don't have any serging on this shirt, not one bit. It went together really well. The only thing is it's a little bit big. I wished I'd have cut it a size smaller. About 20 years ago, I made this coat for me. I wanted me a long winter coat. You know, you can't even find a long coat anywhere. I want to wear a nice wool coat. If I'm not wearing a blazer, then I want to wear a nice wool coat. So 20 years ago, we had a fabric store here called Textures. It was only in business about 5 years, and I bought the wool, black wool, coat weight wool, and this really thicker weight lining from the lady that owned the shop. Actually, the lady that ran it for was highly recommended that I do this, and I'm so glad I listened to her because it wears really well. It has not you know how wear and tear can just start wearing on the line. It's like brand new. I mean, it looks just like it did the day I put it in. The last week, this past week, I was concentrating on a knitting project, so I haven't sewn a whole lot. But what I'm making is a color block sweater right here that I intend to wear jacket style. I'm using Jamison yarn. I bought this from a friend of mine who was closing her shop here. So these are my colors. Kind of a light purple, a deep purple. This is the main part right here. This purple right here is the main. And the color is the eggplant. The second main color will be this because that's the sleeves. And then these two are mostly just contrast. This will be the one that I'll put a little bit at the shoulders. It'll be like a stripe on each side of the shoulder seam. That's where I plan on using that red because there is just a little bit of red that shows up in this, and I want that to bring that out. So that's why I'm doing it. There is a possibility I'll work in some black in the front band, the button band, and it goes around the collar or the neck band. Maybe I might put a fifth color. It only calls for 4 in the pattern, but it's color blocked, and who's gonna know? It's my deal, you know. I'm the one wearing it. So this past yesterday I went to Nashville to Textile Fabrics because everything in the store was on sale, and they have China silk lining there, and that's what I wanted for this sweater because I know it'll breathe. I don't like sweating. And I got this pretty eggplant color of China silk at 40% off. So maybe $25 to line the sweater. That's not bad, especially when I know I didn't pay full price for any of this. I also bought some ribbon. Possibly will use this on the inside button bands. It just helps to have something for the buttons to actually stabilize too, because you're not interfacing a knit, and it gives it a little classy look on the inside, more finished. I like it. I really like the look of that, and I've done it a few times on my granddaughter's sweaters, and she thinks it's kind of cool. She looks in there, she sees fun little print or animals or something, and so, you know, I do that for her just to entertain her, you know, because she's what she's also for. Future makes are things I'm hoping to get cut out. One of them is this here, this pattern, making this view. I bought before Let's Sew, which is in Evansville, my other favorite fabric store, before she switched out her seasons, because she'll do spring, summer, then she'll do fall, winter. I bought this kind of creamy rayon for the top, which, to get a better view of the top, it's actually this here, has cut at an angle, and it's tank top style. I bought this kind of a navy blue color for the pants. I already know that I will probably get something cheaper and try making the pants so that I cut the right size everywhere, because I don't want to make these pants cutting out of something like this. I paid full price for this fabric, but I loved it, and the whole outfit's probably more than let's just say I splurged a little. I like this here, and I know that this is going to ravel, so I already know that after I cut out the pieces, I will need to serge around the whole parameter of the piece. I do plan on lining this jacket. It doesn't call for lining. I will be lining it, and I have that lining already purchased too. Over the years, as I see linen on sale, I have linen in several different colors. It's just 2 shades of blue that I happen to pick up. I plan on getting some of these jackets made. Most of them will look something like this. I like these little simple jackets like that. This is a Donna Karan pattern that I really like. But I probably won't line that, and then again I might. I don't know. We'll just see. This little dress here I bought chambray for. So that's the chambray. And then I want to try to get this little jacket made. And it's made out of I think this is polyester, but it's a really nice polyester. And I love the texture in it. Just love that. Bought this stuff on sale, probably 50% off at a clearance sale. I know I got my chambray at about 40% off. So the only thing I think I've got laying here that I paid full price for was for this outfit too. I do like nice fabrics, and I like easy kind of mixed with a little bit of challenge. I don't see these being very challenging because it's an unlined jacket, and it's linen. Linen's easy for me to sew on. I just like the softness of how that lays like that. Probably will be able to cut these a size or two smaller because they are so full. I'll want to do that. But at the end of this video, I'm going to show a couple of pictures of textile fabrics that I took, and I'll put their website in the description so that you can look at other pictures and sign up for, if you live anywhere near the area and you've never been there, sign up for their email notification. My other fabric store that I love, Let's Sew, I'll be taking pictures or doing a video or something. I'll talk to her about that, and I'll put her website and all that in there at that time when I go up there to visit. And that'll probably be in about 2 weeks. I'll be making a trip up there because I'll be at the point on my sweater that I want to look at her ribbon as well for the inside button band. But other than that, you all have a very blessed week, and I will see you next week.